Well, some point I have to turn it down because I got the baby out here.
What is good, everybody? What is good? Welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. And the day is finally came. I got my boys with me. Man, I got my man GT in the building. Welcome to the show, GT.
Yo, what's up? GT here, aka Mr. Big Shot. Sending love from Frederick, Maryland.
There you go, man. I got my other partner, G Money.
What's happening, K-Sap, man? I'm out here surviving the COVID. You know how it is.
And then we got the other man. Everybody knows him. He's been on several podcasts, man. I got my man, Vaughn Harper, Mr. V in the building.
The one and only Mr. V, and the place to be is always, the V is silent. Keep it moving.
And also, man, we got my man, Rob Bowens, R&B, joining us on the Simply Ball Dropping hotline. Welcome back, Rob. Man, I appreciate it, man. Man, we've been trying to get together, man, do a live podcast, man, for the longest, man, ever since the podcasting took off, man. And it's a lot of things that's going on in this world, man. And I just like to say thank you guys, man, for joining me on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. And there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, man, how we got together and brought this to fruition, man. And it's been a long road, man, and it goes back, man. And the crazy thing about it is, man, I did an episode, man, my second episode, man. I tried to tell you guys how the Simply Ball Dropping podcast got started and where we started from. Well, we got three of the members that actually started this thing, man. And G, it all started with his Sprint phone, man. It started off, man, with the three-way conversation on a regular telephone, branched off into the Sprint phone on a message. Larry, man, tell them how that all came about.
Well, man, it's a pleasure to be on your show, man. I really recognize the momentum of everything that you're trying to do, Kareem, and I'm proud of you, bro. It started, I think, when I first started working at my current job at AstraZeneca, man, and I was really stressed out about certain things that transpired at my job, and you guys were a couple of guys that really inspired me, and before even the work world, when we was in our parents' cribs and things like that, where I could talk to you guys on the level of the things and the stressors of being in the work world, and we got each other through the day through discussing a lot of the problems and day-to-days at work, and we would hit each other in the mornings and say, you know, some encouraging words to each other to get us through. And we would discuss the basketball games and the football games and the favorite players and the wild dunks or whatever it is, man, the boxing matches of that weekend. And it really would help us get through things. And it was just us on there. And I really, it inspired me every morning to push through. Even though I had my family at home and it was my home front, I was really impacted by being able to reach out to you guys during the workday and talk through the struggles of getting by. And it really inspired me, K-Sap. And like I said at the beginning, man, it's a pleasure to be on here and discuss these type of things with you, man.
Man, it's always good, man. It's always good for the kind words, man. And like I said, we go back a long time, man. I remember when you came from Cali, man, and you joined us in Frederick, Maryland, man, and I met you at school, man. It was kind of funny. Met you in the hallway, man. So, you know, we got a lot of history, man. And also, man, we got my man GT, man. GT broke on the scene, man, and he was added to the group. And, you know, he brought his knowledge, man. He's a sports player, man. He played basketball, man, at the high level, man. And, you know, he broke on the scene, you know, added to the group chat, man. We just talked basketball, man. Tell them how you broke on the scene, GT.
Well, it was getting me through my day up at working with the kids. So talking to Bond, talking to Larry, talking to you, BB. Just getting me through my day, telling me how to deal with kids and enough knowledge on that. And like I said, it went over to the sports section, and from there, I came with some firecrackers, came Rookie of the Year. Brought some excitement to y'all, some new ways some new eyes to look here. But it was all good. Like Larry said, just get us through our day, and backline, whatever. One-on-one talk, we had it all. But it got me through my day.
Man, that's good stuff, man. It's always good to add you to the chat, man. And like you said, you bring a different dynamic. And we all got our individual players that we support, man. And when Mr. V came in there, like I told you on previous podcasts, Mr. V, he was the devil's advocate, man. If things got to brewing, Mr. V would spice it up, man. So tell him why you broke on the scene, Mr. V.
Mr. V has been here since day one, as you know that. You, I, Larry sitting here across from me, back before the cell phone days, like we talked about, way back in the early podcast, from three-way calls, watching Sports Center, watching baseball, basketball highlights, 2-second phone calls, and Larry would call him like 2-0 hang up, and take it from there. So we had a foundation that started way back. I'll throw this out there for my people in here and for the listeners out there. It goes back in the day. We even used to, we came up with a rhyme one day over at Larry's house. We were going to come up with a rap group, but they were jealous of my shine, so we couldn't bring that together. But we all three of us kind of had some tight lyrics to that. I remember Kareem spent probably 3 weeks working on his verse, which was tight. I give him that. Larry spent about a week working on his, and I remember walking in there one day straight from the basketball court after I wore somebody out there and just dropped some lyrics freestyle. It was crazy. That would be a hit nowadays, but the smog as it started, SimplyBallDroppin as it's turned into, morphed into, has been a joy. It's been an outlet. It's been a privilege to be a part of, and it's been something that all of us have looked forward to participating in. And I don't think any of us imagined it would get to where it is today. All 4 of us sitting here in the studio have SBD shirts on. SBD stands for Simply Ball Dropping. My man KSAP, the man behind the mic, for those that see this video, will actually see the setup that he has brought with him on the road. It's in this studio, but he brought it on the road. And what you can't see, for those of you watching these videos, is the audience in the background. The ladies love us. They're out there. They're giving us a standing ovation right about now, and it's something to behold. So for all those you listening that want to get into the podcast game and want to express your opinions, your views, to have fun with your friends, your family, and stuff like that, go ahead and do it, because the joy we get out of this is the joy that we bring to you guys. There's 4 fellas right now with one on the phone, and they're talking to each other, laughing here in the background, and having a good time.
Man, well, Mr. V, I always appreciate the kind words. Like I told you guys, man, this guy right here, he's the character of the group, man. But he keeps us on our toes, man. And also, man, we got Rob Bowens, man. We got R&B, man. Like I said, he's on the Simply Ball Dropping hotline, man. He brings a different dynamic to the group, man. And R&B, tell him how you broke on the scene.
Man, K-Sack, I have to echo what he said, that for me it was more about getting through the day. And, sometimes when you're going through the struggles and you got up, you're just in life and you're able to get away from that for a minute and, talk to your friends, talk to your fellows. Maybe they have like a little inspiring word, like Larry said. But more of us, it was just encouragement for each of us, just to, kind of blend together. Each one of us is bringing a little different dynamic, and, we seem to make it work. You know what I mean?
Man, that's good stuff, man. Like I said, man, y'all know Rob been on the podcast plenty times, man. So it's like when Rob's on the podcast, like I said, he brings a different dynamic, man. And man, like I said, man, the podcast, man, when we broke on the group chat, man, it was a lot of things, man, that uplifted us through the day, that got us through the day, like GT attested to, Vaughn attested to, and Larry and Rob attested to. But the thing about it is, man, we said some encouraging words, man, even if it was, encouraging words about family members and things like that. It got us through the day, man, something that could get us through the day. And that's how we really got started. And that turned off into sports and stuff. And everybody got the different backgrounds in sports, man, different teams they root for, different players. And when we first started, man, I'm going to start with me and G. Everything was different. He was a Kobe fan, rest in peace. I was a Mike fan. We used to go at it about that. He was a Holyfield fan. I was a Mike Tyson fan. We used to go on about that. So it just made it spiced things up. And then you got Mr. V, like I said, he tried to play devil's advocate, where he spiced a lot of things up, man. And it was a lot of back and forth, man. And it made it interesting. And when we added more guys to the group, they brought their own dynamic. And you know, when GT broke on the fan, you know, he's a big Melo fan. You know, he follows Syracuse, man, and Melo's is his favorite player, man. So when you know Larry, he's a Kobe fan. Vaughn, he's a Kobe fan. You know, I was a Mike fan. You know, when Mike fizzled out, Allen Iverson fizzled out. LeBron. You know, you got Rob with, you know, he was a Boston fan. You know, so he wore that Celtic green, man. So we all got into it, man. But when GT broke on the scene, man, he brought that dynamic of, you know, the Syracuse, man, the Orangemen, man. You know, the Mellows. Wherever Melo go, he gonna go. Which, you know, wherever LeBron went, I went. So GT, I want you to tell him, man, about Melo, man, starting off.
Again, and following him when my brother played with him on AAU for the Baltimore Blue, and went down to North Carolina, and North Carolina AAU team had J.J. Redick, Chris Paul. They were stacked, and I saw this young fella take over and won the whole tournament. And when I found out he was going to Syracuse, that was it for me. So I followed his career, and as everyone knows, as a freshman, won that championship, and walked in, third player drafted? Is that what it was? Third?
Yes.
I think so.
Third player drafted, and followed his career from there.
Man, that's good stuff. So let me ask you a question, man. So how do you feel about Melo now? You know, he was out of the league for a minute. Portland gave him a chance, you know. Through the summer, they called him Hoodie Melo. Now he changed his look. He came into the Slim Melo. How you feel about this Melo now?
Skinny Mellow. I love it. I love it. As I was saying before to G Money, I wish he would have did it years ago. And I think his career would have took another whole path. But he's here. I'm glad he came back healthy, you know, and came back in shape, not try to get in shape. I think that was a big deal for him. His body weight fluctuated throughout the whole season, and you know, he had problems staying on the court. So I'm glad he's in shape and glad he's looking good.
Man, that's crazy, man. It's crazy that you said that, because you always would tell us, man, about Melo's weight. I wish he would lose weight. I wish he would lose weight. And now it's resonated now through this COVID and stuff like that, you know, going in isolation and through the pandemic. You know, he said he changed up his eating habits, you know what I'm saying? Changed up the way he chefed, and he changed up everything. And, you know, that's crazy that he did that, man. But he came in shape, man. And we're going to turn it, you know, with Larry, he's a Kobe fan, man. So, you know, coming from California, he was born and raised in California, man. So, Larry, tell him about your Kobe stories and how you became a Lakers fan and a Kobe dude.
Man, I was waiting, man. I was waiting for you to get to me. It's like this. Coming up, like you said, it was a road of me liking Magic Johnson. That's what it really stemmed from. I knew that once Magic Johnson, like you said, fizzled out, that we needed another Don to come to the Lakers organization and take over, man. And we had I think in 1996, we had a phenom come to their team, and you could see real quick. I mean, really quick. I think the two guard back then was Eddie Jones, and no shots at Eddie, because Eddie was really athletic, but you could see within the first 2 years of Kobe's career that he was going to do what Eddie did and way more. And he took the Lakers to another level, man. And I also had a vendetta against Mike. I was against Mike in his career, man.
We know that.
Career, man. I respected him, man, no doubt. But I really wanted somebody to come along that could show that what he did was really impactful to the NBA. And Kobe took the NBA by storm, and he shows you how to max out your potential in every aspect of it. And I really appreciated that guy, man. Rest in peace, man. I'm still impacted by his abrupt death. It's just a really great thing to watch when Kobe came on the scene, man. Kobe was a great player, and to this day, he still impacts my life and a lot of things that he stood for, man.
Man, that's crazy that you said that, Larry, man, because, you know, me, you know, being a Mike fan, you know, I respect Kobe. But to this day, man, it's still hard, man, when I watch things that they replay with Kobe on television, man. It's hard to look at, man. And it's like, man, I say to myself, man, that guy's supposed to be here, man. It's not even real. So in the All-Star tribute, man, when they started doing the tribute to Kobe, and they started singing, man. It was just hard for me, man. And I remember the day that it all happened, man. And I was upstairs cleaning up for my wife's birthday party, man. And we have a friend that's in Orange, Texas, and his name is Kobe as well. And when Kanisha yelled up the steps to me and said, "Did you hear Kobe died?" I said, "Kobe in Orange?" And man, it was hard, man. And she was like, "No, Kobe Bryant." And I was like, man, I said, nah. So I turned on the TV and I couldn't see nothing. Pulled on CNN, didn't see nothing. Sports Center, didn't see nothing. Then I went to Twitter. Why did I do that? And it all just filtered, man. And like I tell people, man, it felt like, man, that was a family member, man. And you know me, I wasn't a Kobe man, but I respect him. But man, it still hurts me to this day, man, when you look at it, man, because basketball, even though the pandemic happened and things have slowed down, but you still see images of Kobe. And when things came back up, basketball, and people still paying tribute to him, man, it's hard, man.